Right, so that was two reels with a segue. First one was called Liffey Banks, and the second one was called the Hare's Paw. So it's obviously countryside on the River Liffey, very fast flowing river. And that was played with a metronome because played at speed. That was 108 on the two beats in the bar reel. So obviously the subdivide that'd be 216. But that's the metronome thing. But we're talking about playing at speed with Irish music. It's the left hand fingers, and of course my fingers don't always work as well as they should do. But there's a lot of slurring notes in Irish music, so the bow is not working as hard as your left hand. It's there's quite a few notes in one bow, and of course with the speed, and I'd strongly advise not to play that speed until you are 100% sure of the notes, because any discrepancy there would just throw you out at that speed. If there was a wrong note or don't ever try and put cuts or rolls or any ornamentation in, because that would do the same. So we're talking about the most difficult thing about playing at speed is to actually play slowly, playing the things slowly, because sometimes you can get the beat and the vibe from it, and speed is a natural thing. Because I went to Ireland for about 4 years ago, and there was a session there, and a young girl, she was 18, and I think it was in Tranmore. It was a pub in Tranmore, which is near Waterford in the Republic of Ireland, and she was there with her dad, and she had she'd obviously been doing competitions. She was very much enthusiastic and been doing it, a very young child. But she was playing the tin whistle and different other flute, transverse Celtic flute, and she could play that recorder and all those sort of instruments, which these two reels are actually written for, and that's why they tend to play them fast, because in a way you got two hands on a tin whistle thing. You got more fingers. You're using all your fingers to actually do more notes. So potentially, it's probably, I mean, I'm not saying, because I don't play those instruments, that it's probably easier to play quicker than on the fiddle, because you just got that poor old left hand doing all that work. But what she did, she played in a session, and of course she was trying to introduce tunes, and then in each tune was getting faster and faster, and until in the end everyone stopped playing and listened until she eventually stopped. So it didn't do her any favours playing fast, because it's I mean, making music, even if it's Irish dancing or how fast you want to play, it's not a race. It's not a competition. It's to race. So otherwise, if you got that sort of attitude, you end up just playing on your own. See, I mean, the whole thing is to play with other musicians than to make music. But going back to fast playing, I mean, Irish music can be fast. It can be at all different speeds. It's best to vary the speed as much as you can, because it gives more variety to your playing. Or play slow airs, or to moderate pace, hornpipes and reels. Well, you can play them fast, or you can play them not so fast, depending on the beauty of the tune of the reel. Because I think if you want to bring the tune out more, you have to play it slowly to appreciate beauty, because the listening point of view, you got to absorb. If it's fast notes, you're not going to actually take it all in. As from the listener point of view, you're just going to hear the strong beats where the rhythm goes, and that is the most important thing about playing fast, is getting those strong beats and to sounding the fiddle out. even to play, you know, to get the whole tone out properly. Otherwise you're cramping the style because you're using shorter bows. You're with the left hand you're holding finger downs more because you would just want to, you've got to have economy and restricted movement in order to play fast. And then of course, if you go on to classical music, such as Baroque music, you find the difference there between that and Irish music is the fact they tend to have far more separate bows. So the bow is actually working a lot harder with separate bows playing at speed. But this bow is a modern bow, but a Baroque bow would look very different from this. It'd probably be about 2/3 of this length, and quite often folk musicians hold their fiddle like that just to use that part. And this hill end becomes redundant because you just got this weight, and I suppose that's to facilitate the really fast playing, or if you're doing a separate bow section. But if you had the Baroque bow, it'd be shorter, it'd be holding at the end, and I mean, I don't know, I think you can purchase a Baroque bow now they still make them, because there's still quite a business going on with playing Baroque violins, and they are used in folk music quite a lot as well, Baroque violins and Baroque bows, for, you know, special types of music, and contemporary music. It's coming back into fashion, and they're totally looking different by the actual hair, contact with the hair. This stick part has no part in the in the bows, so there's less weight, and so I have been told, and I haven't tried a Baroque bow, but it is easier to play fast separate bowing with a Baroque bow, and this is why a lot of people find Bach and Vivaldi and Corelli very difficult to play on a normal modern violin, because it's not actually designed to be played on that instrument initially. So that's the thing. But holding the bow like this is the only way, I think, that would become more like a Baroque bow, because the weight distribution is different. But it's a bit like putting a capo on a guitar. You put the capo on the guitar to facilitate what key you want to play and to play the same chords, but it can be a restrictive thing. You can't get certain chords because you're blocking off part of the bottom end of the guitar. And it's the same thing with the violin. With the violin, you are actually restricting. If you want to do something slow, it does actually restrict. So hopefully that's given you some incitement on this video. It's called Accuracy and Speed. Accuracy before speed, I beg your pardon. And that is the thing. It's slow practice, get the notes right, then gradually get your momentum. You notice you'll get changes with the bowing because of the slurs, everything else, but it's not the change of bowing is the actual amount of bow you're actually using, because it's all about economy of movement and where you cross the string. In actual fact, to play it slowly is more difficult than playing it quickly. Once you've established playing it slowly and play it really well slowly, you will find it very easy to play at speed. So you've got to do the groundwork anyway. So I hope you've got something from this video.